I guess we could incorporate some sort of slideshow and pictures around town and announcements and stuff that could be playing. The countdown to when the meeting starts. You'll have some entertainment while you're sitting out there. We're not all just going. And then we could start the broadcast, 6 minutes early, and that could just be on a loop. Like churches do.
Until you get spoiled at church.
Yeah. Like how churches do. I think that.
See what it looks like when
As important dates. Show pictures of things around town.
Now they want it on the room
Yeah,
to start, so it's right.
Well, I don't know how to do it. 2 years from slides if it's on the reflection.
Yeah.
But it should change it.
Oh, it does.
Correct, yes.
Gotta go see. He said, that's my first. Follow
Yeah, just to make sure. Second, delay. So see. And I'm kind of watching.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
See, that's where we were getting the issue earlier. It's like, because we didn't have it. So
We practice. Doing it left-handed instead of right-handed. That way I don't have to put my pen down. Smart, right?
It's about efficiency.
It is about efficiency.
Just get a recording.
Where is Wade?
Master.
There he comes. We'll let him come in and take a seat. And what he cook, get out here. So this is what we got. Hello. Okay, well, hold on. We wanted to do this as a backup.
Click record.
It is. Okay.
Let's back up. Just be safe.
And do you mind if I make a quick announcement before we begin? I'd just like to make everyone aware that this is the first council meeting that we're having with our new technology installed in the council chamber. So obviously you see the televisions. This here flying saucer is a microphone. It's going to pick up whatever's said in the room. If you look behind you, that's a camera that can capture what's going on inside the room. In that back room there, we have a series of servers and switches that allow us to record this and broadcast it, okay? So this is not currently being broadcast. In the future, it will be broadcast live. Just so you know, this meeting will be uploaded online for people to watch later. This gentleman here is Mr. Lee Shaw. He is with ImageNet, the group that just finished installing this technology. This is our first time, it's our maiden voyage with this tech, so he might need to step in and direct us every now and then. So pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. It is 6:01. So I call to order this meeting of the City of Paradise City Council. Can I get a roll call, please?
John Ward present.
Matthew Witten, present.
Amanda Black here.
All parts are present.
We do have a quorum. So let us stand and take the invitations and the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Coach, would you lead us in a quick word of prayer, please?
Father God, we call on you this evening and thank you for all that you do for us. We ask for your guidance tonight as we conduct the business of the city, and we give you thanks for your Son. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. All right, everyone, please be seated. Mr. Wilford, take it away.
Thank you, Mayor. Starting off, as always, we have our important dates coming up. The most unusual one being that the fourth Monday of May is Memorial Day, and so we're shifting the council meeting 1 week to the left. It's going to be the 19th of May. So mark in your calendars. In May, it's 19 May and not 26 May. We have multiple holidays coming up during which the City Hall will be closed. Wanted to show y'all real quick a couple of these pictures. We were visited this last month by the Paradise Elementary School's kindergarten class, and it was a really good time. Mayor, is there anything that you would like to say?
Y'all should hear them recite the pledge. They put all of y'all to shame. But no, they were really excited. They're a fun bunch every year.
So we really appreciated their visit, and we look forward to having them next year. Mayor and council, we have plenty of briefs tonight. Many of them will be relatively short. And so, with your permission, I will launch into them. Ready?
Ready?
First item that we have today is the MD Health Pathways telehealth service. So last month, if y'all recall, we had a brief from the president of MD Health Pathways, which is the telehealth service that makes its money getting attached to the town utility bill. And the way that it would work is that a $9 charge would appear on everybody's water bill, and every household and small business in Paradise, up to 10 people per address, would have access to telehealth services at no further cost. And so they would be provided with a phone number. If they woke up one morning and were feeling poorly, they could text the doctor on the other line. Maybe they need a phone call, maybe they don't, but the end state is that they receive a prescription medication sent to their pharmacy of their choice. And then that's that. So the charge would automatically appear on the water bill. However, if y'all were to approve this item tonight, what we would do is reach out to MD Health Pathways, have a period of several weeks in which we advertised it to the residents of the city, gave them an opportunity to opt out of the program if they wished to, and then after the program was implemented and they began seeing those fees, for the following 3 months, they have an opportunity to receive a full refund for any unexpected fees on their card. And so it's a very interesting and innovative service, and it is left to the council to decide whether you want to see it implemented in our city. This is an item that will appear on the deliberation agenda. Do I have any questions for this at this time?
What is the opt-out procedure?
The opt-out procedure would be to call City Hall, and we would pull an Excel spreadsheet of all the water accounts and mark that address as a non-participant.
Okay, and as far as the $9 is per address, how many people per house?
10 people per house.
And they can opt out at any time.
And then the other part of it is a phone call sufficient to opt out of the service? And say person number 1 calls, but person number 8 is the one on the bill.
So to opt out, it would not be calling MD Health Pathways, it would be calling us.
Yeah, I know.
And so any representative of the household who called to inform us of that, we would take that at their word and opt them out. So that's the way that would work. Are there any other questions? Ma'am?
Continue.
Next, we have the regional animal control effort. Back in November, Mr. Jared Greenwood, who is the city manager of the city of Justin, came by, and he provided council with a brief on Justin's desire to build a regional animal control district. They're trying to include ourselves, obviously Justin, New Fairview, Rome, Aurora, Boyd, and Decatur. A few months have passed, and the mayor of Justin really wants to get started on this project, but he needs to know basically who's in. And so we've been provided with a draft resolution for y'all to approve or disapprove that would essentially say we agree to share a proportion of the cost of standing up this district. And the cost would be based on factors like population, geographic area, and animal control incidents. And so, presumably, whatever share of Paradise had of this would be relatively small, but we don't know how much yet. They can't figure that out until they know who's playing.
Right now, it's just for the feasibility study. So that we're we would be agreeing that we want to be a participant of the feasibility study and be included in that studies
And those aren't.
area.
Yeah, what's
They're not free.
What the cost of it is.
He estimated that the feasibility study may be around 30,000, I think, for the whole study. I think in conversations that we've had in the past.
7 cities.
So, but don't know for sure.
And so if, this is an item that will be on the deliberation agenda, if y'all were to approve it, you would be committing to paying a certain amount of money at some time. And that's what it is.
So I will advocate that that be a really small amount, because we're really small.
Yeah, cause we wouldn't get,
We don't have a lot of
we
incidences.
wouldn't get
We're
1/7
small.
of the cost of the feasibility study. Or we get 1/7 of the cost of the feasibility study.
Ultimately, whatever money we actually committed to spending would need to come before y'all anyway.
I'm just saying, like, for, let's say you okay it and they come back and we're getting 1/7 the cost of the feasibility study for a town of 300 homes.
Yeah, we shouldn't. It should be prorated.
Yeah.
So if Justin, as lead agency, were to come back and say, hey, Paradise, you need to pay 1/7, and I presented that to you in council, y'all could just say,
Yeah. No.
I think we should at least, yeah.
So this is an item on the deliberation agenda. Ma'am?
Didn't you?
Next, we have Brighton Broadband.
This is pretty exciting. Y'all get excited.
Okay. Brighton Broadband is a company that instills fiber internet, high-speed internet. And they want to install fiber internet in our right-of-way. They've approached us to coordinate that. We have had a meeting with the city engineer. The city engineer has looked over their plans and found them satisfactory. In order to earn the right to work in our right-of-way, Brighton Broadband is currently offering us a franchise agreement, a 20-year term. The first year or 16 months or so, the payment that they would remit to us would be $1,500 per quarter, so every quarter until December 2026. At that time, they should have some fiber infrastructure in the ground to begin turning a profit, and they would change that payment to presumably a higher payment based on the gross revenues that they're receiving from selling their services. Here is a map of their desired layout. In deliberation agenda, you will be asked to consider the franchise agreement to allow them to work in our right-of-way.
Assuming the blue is the route that they're gonna take?
And yellow. It's
And
the
yellow?
The yellow is the main trunk, the high count fiber, and the blue is the distribution, which would then run drops to the house for the services.
Okay, because looking at that, I am adjacent to the yellow where I get service.
Yes,
Is this fiber to a dish or is it fiber to fiber?
it's fiber to fiber. It's all
yeah, right? I know. I said y'all get excited.
Just want to make sure I can't get it if I'm right next to it. I mean,
yes.
since it's yellow, will I get more?
You don't have to pay more for
This is one of the things that when I ran for mayor first and I went door knocking and I asked questions, I asked, do y'all want to see, fiber internet, high-speed internet? And everybody was like, yes. And I'm like, okay, you also willing to pay about it? And they were like, yes, we will pay for it too. So,
Most technologically ignorant people, can you explain fiber to fiber, sir?
A lot of what you have in the area right now is either wireless, to where you have a dish on your home and the service comes in that way, or it's a coax cable, kind of a copper or aluminum cable that comes in. Those all have reduced speeds. Fiber means from the electronics that we get connected to the outside world to a box at your home, which is about the size of the water tumbler there. That would be sitting in there. It'd be fiber connected all the way through that. So the speed of light is going to be the transmission of the data.
it's not going through a dish at all.
And with it all being underground, that also is more secure, so you don't have issues with weather, ice, wind, all of those types of
There is, I think it's Nextlink has their fiber to a dish and Reed Ranch.
Yeah, the dishes in Windmill Ridge.
Yeah. I don't know how that service is.
We have not heard great things.
I mean,
All the Nextlink stuff, which is in my subdivision, all of that's gonna be line of sight, so it's still gonna be communicated through a dish.
yeah.
So they have a main tower, which we set up, and then they have, Windmill Ridge has fiber into the home, but everybody else is gonna be broadcasting to the dish itself, so. Again, you're gonna get more consistent speed if you're on a dish, you'll get more consistent speed, being directly connected essentially.
Yeah.
Through fiber.
Any further questions?
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am?
Go ahead.
Next, we have right-of-way ordinance. So we have people coming in and wanting to work on our right-of-way. The city engineer at one of these meetings expressed to us that there are some ordinances that most cities already have, and one of them is a right-of-way ordinance. And he said it would be a good thing for us to go ahead and get one together. And so I turned to the city attorney. She wrote this up for us. This is an ordinance that it's pretty boilerplate. It works out authorized, unauthorized uses of the right-of-way and how we collect, we issue permits and how we collect franchise agreements and how people appeal it and so on. So this will be presented actually on the consent agenda. Next, we have the solicitation ordinance. We sought to make a change to, if y'all recall, it was probably 6 or 7 months ago that we passed the door-to-door solicitation ordinance. We did not address in that ordinance solicitations from the roadway. And I don't know if you've seen on social media lately. Lately, we've been having some problems with people soliciting from the roadway and impeding traffic and being unsafe. And so what this ordinance is, it's a modification to our pre-existing solicitation ordinance to prohibit people from soliciting from the roadway. So that should solve that problem.
How does that work if it's a roadway that we're not in charge of? Isn't that a state highway?
Yes, sir, it's in city limits. So it's,
Just because it's in the city limits, they can do it.
yes, sir.
Would this hinder the fire department if they want to do the fill the boot thing?
No, sir.
Okay. So you're just saying like, as long as they're not like out in the lane.
Mhm.
Could there be a grievance, some way for like the citizens to file an official grievance against whoever's soliciting? Because the posts on Facebook were one thing, but to have some official response to, okay, y'all were harassing them or, something to the effect of that.
Yes, sir, and that is it's a tricky problem for us because generally a citizen complaint isn't enough because they could just be picking on the door-to-door people. You want to see a citation, and we haven't had police.
Yeah.
And so there's the answer to our problem, and we're working towards it.
I know the sheriff was called in.
Yes, sir. And there was some confusion about it, so this is part of the framework to clear everything up. Are there any other questions about this consent item?
So if we do this, does this eliminate them, that one particular group?
It would prevent them from soliciting at that spot.
But they could go solicit somewhere else?
Oh, yes, sir, but First Amendment.
Any liability to the city that this
Well-
ordinance would create?
No, sir, this is reducing liability to the city. Because previously they were lawfully drawing permits from the city, and they were lawfully going and standing in traffic. And there's liability for us if they get run over. Now that if y'all choose to approve this ordinance, now that we've approved it, we could say, no, it was always against our ordinance for them to be out there, which would be true. So, if anything, it reduces our liability.
Okay, next.
Next. Municipal court items. So, at the last meeting, the council approved an interlocal agreement with the city of New Fairview to stand up a municipal court. There are going to be various items that I have to bring before y'all in the administrative process of standing up that court. I'm bringing 3 of them today. All 3 will be consent items. The first one is an ordinance to formally establish a court of record. The second one is a resolution to appoint the New Fairview municipal judge and prosecutor to be our municipal judge and prosecutor. And the third one is an ordinance to establish fee collection procedures for the juvenile court. The juvenile court is a fairly new requirement in municipalities. Just a few months ago, it became required. And so this will be a new thing for us to implement.
Questions? No?
Okay. Next, the Texas Municipal Retirement System. A few months ago, the council directed me to begin investigating a possible transition to the Texas Municipal Retirement System. And so we have done that legwork, and I'm going to be presenting you with some costs. Before we get into the costs, I want y'all to know that all of these costs have already been worked in to the adjusted budget that the mayor and I are presenting to you later on in this council meeting. Okay. So, TMRS is the standard retirement system for cities in Texas. When you're competing for employees and you're offering your benefits packages, you just have to know that the vast majority of developed cities in Texas are offering this benefit. And so if you want to attract and retain qualified employees, it's important to have at least an answer to TMRS. Now, the TMRS system functions on two axes. The first one is the amount that the employee contributes, and the second amount is the match that the city makes to the employee's contributions. And so, depending on the plan, the employee can contribute either 5, 6, or 7% of their salary monthly. That is automatically deducted from their paycheck. The city then takes that percentage and either matches it 1-to-1, 1-to-1.5, or 1-to-2. Obviously, the highest level, the lowest plan, therefore, available is a 5% plan at 1-to-1 match. The most generous benefit is 7% at the 1-to-2 match. This system has been discussed with all the current employees here at City Hall, and the current city employees are for this plan. All right, so moving on to the next slide. These are the 9 possible costs. There are 3 options for employee contributions. There are 3 options for city match. 3 times 3 is 9. There are 9 options. These are annual costs. So the very cheapest option to cover all the employees within the city would be the 5% at 1-to-1, which would be just north of $6,000 a year for their retirement. The most expensive option is the 7% at 1-to-2, which is about $21,000 per year. Generally, cities have 7%, 1-to-2 contributions. And so, budgeting conservatively, which means taking the most severe view of the possibilities, the mayor and I have included the $21,000 option within our amended budget. However, it is up to City Council to decide whether to be involved in this program and at what level. So there's TMRS in a nutshell. Are there any questions from the council?
I have maybe a comment,
Yes, sir.
or maybe a question too, or maybe both. TMRS. Social Security will go away for the employees. Y'all won't be taking out Social Security, is that correct?
Correct.
Have the employees been informed of how that affects them at retirement?
That particular thing is not something that I discussed with him.
I would just like to advise that maybe we ought to just tell them so they can, I don't know, do something, not necessarily not take this, but plan, for those years when you're gonna have to do something for health insurance when you get to retirement, you're no longer working.
Yes, sir.
Now, does TMRS may have some kind of retirement program? I don't know. But I deal with that stuff all the time, and I see the negativity for a lot of people coming out of the education field.
Very well, sir. So one possibility would be that if y'all were generally in favor of the plan and saw how it fit into the budget,
I think it's a good idea.
you could authorize me to discuss it with the employees, inform the mayor, and take action at that time. this item will appear on the deliberation agenda.
Great.
Next item.
No more questions? Okay, next.
Next item is dental and vision insurance for the city employees. So we work with the Hub multi-state medical broker to negotiate municipal insurance policies. We put vision and dental out to bid and got 2 responses, one from Mutual of Omaha and the other one from Principal. Mutual of Omaha offered a service that was less expensive and better with shorter waiting periods. And so the total annual costs for vision and dental for Mutual of Omaha would be about $7,800. For Principal would be about $8,500. And I have the breakouts here if you are interested in seeing the particulars. The big item here for dental is Mutual of Omaha has no waiting period for major procedures, whereas Principal has a 12-month waiting period for major procedures. Principal is more expensive and it has the 12-month waiting period, and so it seems obvious to me that if the council were to proceed with the plan, that it would proceed with Mutual of Omaha.
Is that the cost for both dental and vision?
This is dental. Vision is not very expensive at all. Here is the vision plan.
Okay.
This cost has already been incorporated into the adjusted budget that you're about to see.
They didn't offer hearing to you. I mean, you laugh. They
I know.
DVH, I mean, dental, vision, and hearing,
Yeah.
and it's not very expensive either.
Yes, sir. We did not bid out hearing. Okay. If there are no questions, I'll move on. The final brief for today is a quick run over of the budget amendment. Here are our stats for the second quarter. I gave you all a printout of our second quarter stats. As you can see, our governmental funds have grown. At the end of quarter one, we were at $1.173 million in our governmental funds. Currently, we are at $1.3 million. In our proprietary funds, we've grown from $516,000 to $525,000. Since the beginning of the fiscal year, we've grown from $1,643,000 to currently we're about $200,000 higher. We're at $1,836,000. And so all of our accounts are moving in the correct direction. Last month, we had a detailed breakdown of all the places that the mayor and I found costs to cut. You'll recall that we removed $30,000 of unnecessary funds from emergency management that were covered by that for services that were already covered by the ESD. We discovered a $15,000 donation to the fire department that we did not need to provide. We covered a $20,000 transfer from the water fund to the general fund to cover half the cost of our utility billing clerk. We reduced cost of our lawyers' fees, and so on, to the point that we discovered significant savings. And so, even though the mayor and I are recommending involvement in the $21,000 TMRS plan, and even though the mayor and I are recommending that we adopt the extra $8,000 or so worth of insurance benefits for employees, we are still reducing the fiscal year 25 amended budget expenditures to below $800,000. The excess funds that we would have at the end of the year, maybe an emergency comes up and we need to spend that money, at which point that will be brought before the council. But if things continue to go the way that they have been going, we would have those excess revenues to invest in our capital investment program fund and prepare for future infrastructure. This will come up, this will be the final item on our deliberation agenda today.
Also includes the resident deputy.
Also includes the resident deputy program. If there are no questions, I'll move on.
Questions? No? Questions? Okay, move on.
Okay, moving on to citizen communications.
All right, these two citizen communications, do we have anybody sign up for citizen comment? Before I close citizen communications, is there anyone out there who wishes to address the council? Okay, hearing none, communications is closed.
Thank you, Mayor. Shall we proceed to consent?
Yes, please.
All right. All of these consent items have already been briefed, but the names on the screen are pretty wordy, and so I'm going to run through what these items are real quick. Item A are the minutes from the previous meeting. Item B is the right-of-way ordinance that we discussed. Item C is the soliciting from the roadway. Item D are the items for the, item D is establishing the court of record for the municipal court. Item E is appointing the new municipal court judge and prosecutor. And item F is establishing the fees for the juvenile case management program.
Right, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as explained to us and as written here.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, carry it, passes unanimously.
Deliberation.
Deliberation agenda, here we go, these are the stuff. Item A for the deliberation agenda is the resolution to adopt for MD Health Pathways in our town. Further discussion for MD Health Pathways, questions? They have seen good results in their towns that they have implemented this, keeping school absences down, provides people with little or no insurance, access to a doctor when they're feeling crummy, coming down with the flu or have an ear infection or urinary tract infection or things like that. It's not for chronic cases and regular management. And everybody can opt out whenever they want to. Businesses that don't offer employees insurance can offer this to them, so at least their employees will have something. And if anyone decides they want out, they can get up to 3 months refunded of that $9 fee.
The first 3 months.
The first 3 months.
I think it says up to 3 months at any time, isn't it?
Well, pretty much, we want to keep the citizens happy, so pretty much, it has to be subject to contract, so it does say 3 months, but we're pretty lenient on that.
Well, in any case, even if they don't get 3 months
Again,
back,
we
they
can
can.
change it.
stop
We'll send
paying.
the contract to y'all, if y'all want that in there, just let us know. And
How long did you say the informative section of it would to tell them?
We would work on a marketing rollout plan with them.
typically, it's 2 months, we want everyone to know about it, because we don't want to surprise somebody, we're not trying to send people who don't want it, so. It's usually about 2 months to make sure everybody knows about it, and then we kind of launch.
Would there be, I would assume like if somebody wanted to opt out before the start,
Yep.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's no problem.
What are other health plans will they work with?
There's no insurance
No
required.
copay, no
Yeah.
insurance.
No copay, no insurance, it's just a $9 a month bill.
Telehealth program.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
not
telehealth.
like health insurance as we know health insurance, although it gives you an opportunity to talk to a doctor if you're sick.
And it's both voice and text, is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was
Is
that?
it voice and text?
Voice, text, even video if you need it. We used to use it. We found out that 99% of things you can do with text. What started was we would text our doctor friends, they would text us. That's how we treated everybody. We both, all companies are. We'd see these $1,500 bills for these kids with earaches who didn't have it. We thought there has to be something else we're doing. We could do better, and so pretty much you can do it over text, but you can have phone calls or video if you need that.
And then the first phone call for a patient, obviously they probably need to make an account.
So usually they text in, we just ask them, we send them a thing to fill out. We go ahead and start take care of them as we're filling that out, and that's how we get them
Okay.
registered.
I'm just trying to think,
We compare that to the list of people on the property.
The city will give them the list here, the list addresses and names, and they compare it with that.
Just thinking about accessibility for those that aren't.
If they need a call, we can take care of that as well.
You mentioned 3 months, is that to opt out? Is that what we were talking about? They can opt out?
You can opt out at any time.
If they
So
can.
that 3-month deal, irregardless, so
Yeah.
3 months and the day I want out, you can get out.
You can opt out at any time,
Not locked into it.
right, it's just that.
It's not like that you give a credit card and they charge you for the rest of your life.
You have, already been in this, sir.
Do what?
Credit cards doing good service. But yeah, like if they catch it 3 months after it starts and get all their money.
Yeah, okay.
Anytime.
You tell me mine.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the resolution between the city and MD Health Pathways?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. All in favor? Say aye, or it passes unanimously. Woo! Get excited again.
And the second item is the potential resolution to support Justin's effort for regional animal control.
Yes, this is something the county is very interested in doing with them as well. The new sheriff, as he's come in, animal control is under the sheriff's office, so the county's interested in this. A lot of the towns closer to Justin are really interested in this. Again, this is participation in a feasibility study to find out what it would take to do a regional animal
Does that
control.
create an eighth
effort.
partner?
Do what?
Does the county become an eighth partner in this? Financially?
Yes, I'd imagine that they were gonna, and the conversations we've had, anytime this was brought up in all their meetings, the county is interested. So, all right, so then I need a motion to approve the resolution of support for the regional animal control effort. Huh? All right, Paul jumped on in. Paul made the motion. Who would like to second it? All right, Coach seconds it. All in favor? And everybody raises their hand, passes unanimously. Change hands.
This item is the franchise agreement to approve Brighton Broadband to work in our right-of-way to install fiber.
Anybody want to talk about this exciting thing some more?
No, ma'am.
How long are they gonna be
Installing.
installing?
However long it, well, they want to get started as soon as they can, and we will not hinder them unnecessarily.
Oh, and who puts the bill when there's damage done to water lines?
What was the question?
Who puts the bill when there's damage done to the water line?
Yeah, that's us.
Okay.
We all the company that we're working in Bridgeport over there doing it.
No, the one, that was NextLink that was
The ones that were
putting,
digging all the lines.
well, I don't know. But NextLink has installed their stuff in Decatur, Boyd, Bridgeport, and hit water mains and sewer mains all over every town. So,
And also, since it's considered like a franchise agreement, is that just not like exclusivity or anything?
This franchise, no, some are different.
Yeah.
This is not an exclusivity.
Okay.
It's just permission to engage in our right-of-way.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure.
Two computer setups now, and neither one of them work well.
And you need to vote.
you know, you'll be flying. And this is something that the residents in Paradise wanted to see, so it's exciting. So can I get them
I'll make a motion to do this.
to do this? I'll make a motion that we do this. All right, I have a motion approving the ordinance with Brighton Broadband. Is there a second? And it is seconded by Paul Potts. All in favor, say aye. Raise your hand. Passes unanimously. All right, next up, we have participation in the Texas Municipal Retirement System.
So there is no resolution or ordinance associated with this. What y'all are deciding now is what to include in the amended budget. It's currently budgeted for the most expensive option. It handles that cost, but this decision is yours to make.
I'll tell you that all the other cities in the county that participate at 7% to 2-to-1 match.
This is a TMRS thing you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
So we're just gonna pick how much money we could potentially spend, or do we have to spend that?
So you're going to direct me on which plan
'Cause we've got 2 other members.
to include.
Can we go backwards? If we choose the largest amount,
Mhm.
could we go backwards when we direct you?
You could. You would have very unhappy employees at that point.
Well, there's 3 choices. You know,
There's 9 choices.
there's 9. I thought it was 1-to-1, 1 to 1.5.
5%, 6%, 7%.
Oh, well, they choose that, but I'm talking about the matching part.
No, sir.
No.
Y'all choose both factors.
We do?
Yes, sir.
Do we have a consensus from the employees on which one they like?
7% at 2-to-1.
7% at 2-to-1?
Yes, sir.
That's a $20,000 cost you had up there?
To cover all employees, yes, sir.
For the year.
That's 4 employees?
Yes, sir.
right now?
Another thing to consider is the more employees we have, the more expensive it is to buy in. And so if y'all potentially, hypothetically, were to choose not to participate, and then choose in 15 years when you have a bunch more employees,
Yeah,
It will-
more expensive.
be more expensive to buy in. Or if you buy in at a low contribution now, and then discover that the market requires you to up your contribution, the more employees you had at that point, the more expensive it would be
For us, for the city.
for the city. Yes, sir. So it's just a consideration.
What caused it to be more expensive?
Because the way it's an annuity, and in order to maintain the regular payments, you have to have a certain size pot of money from which to disperse the retirement funds. And so right now we only have 4 people to pay for, and so we only need a 4-person pot. But if we had 15 or 20 people, then the city would have to race to catch up and contribute more money to build up that annuity fund. And so the earlier you get in, the cheaper it is. The lower the rate is the way it just works.
What would this do with other employees of the city, like maintenance workers?
As we hired them, they would become involved. They would automatically be enrolled in our retirement program.
In other words, if you hired straight people to clean or
No, sir, not contract workers.
not contract workers, but I'm
No.
talking about actual employees.
Exactly. Yes, they would be involved. As terms of their employment, they would be required.
The people that work with the own water up there, they're employees of the city, are they not?
No, sir. No, we contract with them through a company called Bar FS. So they're contractors.
They're contractors. Okay, so the city does not have that many actual employees other than the 4 down here.
Only 4. Myself and the 3 ladies.
Mr. Wilford, you have to be full-time employed to be in the system? Or what are the parameters there? What?
There is
You
a
have to-
minimum.
You have to be a full-time employee, 30 hours a week.
I think we're doing a good thing, investing in people, building benefits and investing in the staff that we have here. That's
It's me.
how we attract and retain quality people
Still
here at
still
City Hall.
thinking about this pot system he's talking about. Because I'm thinking if we got 4 now and then down the road we get 10 more, we gotta get a bigger pot, so they're gonna draw it up the money they put up when they're just now starting working 10 years later. That doesn't make sense.
No, sir, because as they come in, as new people come in, there's a 5-year vesting period. And over that 5 years, the city would be contributing and the employees would be contributing to build up that pot before they ever became eligible to withdraw it. And so all the actuaries have done this math to figure out how the annuity is going to work.
We're not inventing the math, we're going from the math.
I know.
Give us.
I can't even say that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, well, I'll move that we do it.
I got a motion to
No,
participate in
what retirement's
TMRS.
all about.
At what plan, Coach? The 7% 2 to 1?
The employees want.
That's the one they
But
wanted.
15 years from now, when chance is a little bit over, I'll be retired.
I'll second that.
And it is seconded participation, so the motion is to participate in TMRS at some percent 2 to 1 match. It's been seconded, all in favor? Ayes, it passed unanimously.
Can we regress? I know you passed this, but can I ask another question? What they have now, is that gonna get canceled?
No,
Or
sir,
They can keep it if they want, or what?
Yeah.
they can keep it, but the city's gonna stop contributing to it. So it's just their private investment fund now. Yes, sir.
All right, next. All right, next up we have participation in the vision and dental health coverage. Again, we, in the budget amendment, went with the Mutual of Omaha option. That was around $7,500 for a year.
Here, I'll move that we go ahead and accept that offer.
All right, got a motion to go with Mutual of Omaha for dental and vision. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Potts. All in favor? Hands, it passes unanimously. All right, look at this. Couldn't just go now, maybe. All right,
She's in a roll.
huh?
You're in a roll now.
I'm on a roll. We're moving. All right, so next is adopting the amended budget for rest of fiscal year 25.
I move that we go ahead and adopt it and amend it.
I got a motion to adopt the amended budget. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is seconded. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. It passes unanimously. What to do? Look at that, everybody. Good job. There you go. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You wanna make your,
Mr. Potts, do you want to adjourn the meeting?
you wanna adjourn? Maybe you wanna make that everyone's
I'll make a
favorite
motion.
motion? Make a motion. It's-
You're a good man.
Anybody wanna second it and go home? Second it and everybody, all right, we are adjourned.
Thank you for coming.
I guess I should hit stop.
Yeah.
I think